Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully you're hearing us okay from wherever you're tuning into around the world. Let us know where you are tuning in from. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Hopefully the new setup is hey, Metapub has dropped straight into the green room. Man, what the hell is this? I wasn't even
Hey.
sure if you were going to join us straight away or whether you were going to keep working. I was going to say, mate, we usually do the news in the first 20 minutes. I know you're working.
I was
But
joining
yeah, you
and
can.
jumping on, but if you want to come back to me, that's cool.
It's whatever you want to do, mate. Honestly, like I said,
do
it's
your
free
thing.
form. I know that you're working and busy though. If you want, we usually do news in the first 20 minutes and then start getting into the videos and everything like that. But mate,
Cool.
thank you so much for joining in and
My
mate,
pleasure, man.
congrats on getting this work turned around and getting it out there. Me and Andrew purposely haven't watched it. I told you that. Hard to avoid. Hard to avoid, honestly. Everyone's resharing it and
Awesome,
congrats,
man.
you know.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But don't let me stop you from doing the news. Why don't we come back to me in 20 minutes?
Okay, all right.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
Andrew, as well. Then, so
yeah.
Cool.
Mate, I mean, the hot topic at the moment is what the hell is this music platform? It's going around at the moment, and it's definitely going to have some issues legally in very shortly. But it's essentially available for free. You don't even need to subscribe, and you can go and emulate the sound and likeness of many famous individual musicians.
Yeah,
and it's kind of taken over. Yeah, it's insane. I can't quite believe it's real, to be honest with you, especially because I haven't heard of it before. It's not a Suno or an Udio or a producer AI or one of these tools. It's just come out of seemingly nowhere with these crazy capabilities. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what to say about it. As a musician, you know, as someone that used to be a music teacher, I have mixed feelings about it straight away, obviously. It's both incredible, but potentially terrible for IP at the same time. And how do you even measure something like this damage wise? I was thinking every 24 hours that it's available, there will be tens of thousands of tracks that will proliferate throughout social media in the coming months and stuff, like we're seeing with Seedance. Really, you know, it's kind of everywhere, and yet it's not even really released yet. And they're the big news stories. It's kind of like the Seedance for music, I was thinking, except it's totally unrestricted.
Yeah, this one is called Son Auto, if you haven't heard of it. And I'm the same. I looked at it and I thought, wow. And so I thought, let me see what it sounds like with Biggie Smalls and then Eminem. And I started just putting in my favorite artists, putting it in. And yeah,
it's mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's scarily worrying. It's cool in the sense that you play around with it and you're like, wow, Eminem, this is what it would sound like if he had to rap my, I don't know, rap my website, you know, if he's rapping about my website. But yeah, if I was the music industry, I would be thinking this is exactly why we were worried about AI.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't even know if it's origin. I don't know if it's a Western tool, if it's an Eastern tool, a European tool. I've got no idea.
No, I actually heard of it, yesterday, Chris? That's the first day that we both heard of it. And I honestly don't know what to think anymore about anything, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Been in this space every day for 4 years, and it's just like, we always thought, we kept saying, like, man, it's going to get there. Eventually you'll have full movies, the video, the quality, everything, it's going to get there. And it's like, now here we are, and I can't believe that we've actually gotten this far.
Yeah.
And I've said for a long time that the music tools have been somewhat ahead of the other things like images and video. It's still playing catch up, still even on the image side of things, however good it's gotten, it's still not able to do exactly David LaChapelle's photography style or something like this. But with music, when we heard Fake Drake about a year ago, I was like, oh God, here we go, you know, like, and the labels, how they're going to react to this, who knows? Probably very swiftly with lots of lawsuits, because it's just capable of doing so many different people's voices and tones. And but as I said, it's both terrifying and amazing that music's come this far. And where we go from here is really like, will there be official ones, you know, that are licensable, and like 11 Labs and stuff like this, where, you know, famous voices, famous bands, tones, UGC, all of that starts to go into my mind is, will they wield this as a weapon, or will they sue the hell out of it? It's one or the other, it seems.
So I think that we've gone full circle, because I remember 20 plus years ago, people were saying the same thing for Napster. You know, I remember Metallica going crazy, Dr. Dre going crazy. Like, you know what? Lawsuits. And where did that get them? Yeah, they shut down Napster, but BearShare and Kazaa and the Pirate Bay and all of that came up. And I think the same thing is going to happen. So everyone in the chat who mentioned what was the name of the site, is called Son Auto. So Son as in SON, Auto, AUTO.ai. That's the site. Now, what happened with Napster was, eventually the record labels ended up knowing they couldn't win that fight. So they ended up having to do, well, multiple things that ended up happening. And I think the same thing will happen here. I don't think there's any way of stopping it.
Well, do you want to know something crazy about Napster? They've just launched a generative music platform, mate.
Yeah.
No jokes.
It's a good one as well.
They're
I've been playing
really,
around with it. Yeah.
It is good, yeah. And it's like full circle moment for a company that started with a negative thing and now they're trying to do something different. But it's all topsy-turvy, isn't it? Like, it's hard to, like, I didn't see this one coming. I don't think anyone saw this particular one coming, which is just so emulatable to so many famous voices. And suddenly we're here, and it's kind of crazy. That's the link for anyone that wants to go try it temporarily, and be very careful. I will say prematurely, you know.
I mean, you know, what's interesting as like a business model, it seems like this website, it seems like it just popped up on everybody's radar overnight. And they're essentially making a name for themselves by being this splashy. But it's almost like when Sora 2 came out, you could do anything for like a day or two, and then they've just restricted it. This gives them an audience.
So I don't know, Chris. I don't know, Chris. Because we're hearing
an echo. Sorry, guys. I'm just testing out my audio because my headphones are still crackling. Yeah,
I think it's very true. It is the audience. I think that's what happened with Seedance. I think they opened it, gave it to certain people. They put out stuff, got everyone talking about Seedance. Then they kind of made it restricted. But that was the marketing. That's all they needed. That was the marketing. So
the big splash, they call it, you know.
Yeah. It was like, it should have been out now, but obviously they delayed it, and now it's like, hurry up, I want to try it. It's a great marketing tool.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it is risky, isn't it? Like, in many ways, because it's just going to attract so much hate and lawsuits from one side of things, but then it's with the people, you know, the users, and that it creates this viral attention. I call it like the domino effect. Sora did it as well, by the way. You know, when they first came out, it was 24 for 48 hours, almost unrestricted, and then suddenly the guardrails started coming up more and more and more, and then so people have the assumption that you can go and do things, register, pay, and then can't do the things that they've seen on social media because they were done within the 24-hour window or 48-hour window that it was allowed. And it's kind of like this new release plan, isn't it? Rollout plan is almost a given.
Because think about it, you have all these users that are actually making videos for you for free. They're marketing it for you.
Exactly.
And
then UGC, aren't they? Yeah.
All they do is probably get like a cease and desist letter, and then they say, okay, and they abide by it, but it's already out there now.
It's wild, isn't it? Yeah. Like, there's nothing more like to get hype than a ton of random users that may not even be pros at a particular thing putting out clips that just look incredible. Like Seedance is just flooding everywhere at the moment. It's truly hard to stop it, honestly, because when I see, like, Andrew, we've talked about this in previous weeks, mate, but we're going to be going more to spec ads and marketing because that's our expertise, really. I love short films and music videos because of my background, but spec ads and advertising, we can really start to go, right, is this ready to be brand level? You know, is this ready for integration and stuff like that? Now with Seedance, it's the first time I've ever seen it because it's so multi-shot, and like even a one prompt 15-second thing can kind of look like a somewhat edited scripted thing that could be for social media. I'm like, this is a weird tipping point now where one person with a few different prompts and a bit of editing knowledge and a bit of music knowledge can really create an incredible idea into something amazing. And I'm starting to see more and more of these examples. So let's rapid fire some really quick spec ads, which are literally one prompt in Seedance, as I said, 15 seconds of length, and yet each gets over a concept quite well, and you know, you can kind of understand where it's coming from and stuff like that. This one comes to mind because when we worked with Coca-Cola, I specifically remember them doing this masterpiece ad. Remember, Andrew, where it kind of drops in through the top of this art gallery and the art starts coming alive, and all the famous paintings are like chucking this Coke bottle to one another. I saw this on a like Chinese website and I was like, oh my God, here we go. Like for real. That could be any random drinks brand now doing that level of stuff, you know, for social media content and stuff. Yeah, that was just a random one prompt Seedance thing. And it was just, you know, whatever cola brand in China that was, or wherever. Like, but that's the point, is that Coca-Cola were the only ones that could really think about doing these sort of things before. And suddenly whatever random brand can really go for VFX craziness and all this social media stuff. It's crazy.
Do you have
such an unlock?
Do you have access to Seedance, Meta Puppet?
I do.
You do. What's your thoughts overall as a model? Because at the moment, everyone, obviously it's the hype that we're seeing, but not many people we know has access to it, has actually played around with it.
Yeah, it's a few different ways to get access, as we found out, basically. That's what has been the weirdness around it, Andrew. Yeah.
You know, it's incredible. And I guess it's the reasoning behind it. It's like the agent that it uses to basically in 15 seconds, you know, it cuts together stuff for you. Obviously it's not perfect. But it seems to me that all the data is there. We have the technology to do anything. It's just the restrictions now, and it's the IP laws and it's the lawsuits. But from these glimpses, it's like technologically it's pretty much there, you know. But yes, Seedance, it's one of those moments where it was like VO3 last year. It was like, oh my God, they can now talk when you just, you know, it was one of those breakthroughs. And then seeing this, just there's no uncanniness really to some of these videos. Others has it, but yeah, I mean, how long until it's just perfect?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Where you said about restrictions and IP, it's just pretty much the main things that's holding us back now. Yeah,
it is, isn't it? And it's kind of crazy. Like, even just before this live, I saw Dave Clark, obviously, Andrew from Promise. He's just putting out stuff like this, and it's just obviously on the whim fun ideas that you think, oh my God, this could actually be part of an advert as well.
I like that.
Like that right there is a 15-second Seedance prompt, you know, with all the cuts and everything actually baked in, and it's using this thing called Omni Reference, and you can give it multiple scenes or however much detail you want. And the thing that's truly amazing, and this is what I really want to discuss, are we going to actually see the end of new models launching without all the bells and whistles and features? Because traditionally, that's what we've seen, right, Meta Puppet? Like when Kling comes out with a new model, it doesn't come with first and last frame. It doesn't come with all the things that the previous model had. And Seedance just came out and it was like, it can accept all and it can output all. You know, it's like audio, video, images, Omni Reference, things we've never even seen before. And then, you know, we're not waiting for it to become the thing that it's going to eventually become. You know, maybe we'll see the end of that with this, because it feels hard for then Runway to do an update to 5 or something without all of this, and then have to incrementally add it back. And It's just they're not waiting anymore, are they?
No, and Omni Reference, like you said, because Seedance has first frame, last frame, but I don't even use it. I just use Omni.
I don't even use any. Omni Reference is the new way of working, Andrew, as we've discovered through limited use of this. It's crazy how different and better it is.
I have to believe that VO4 is already built, you know.
I agree.
And so that's gonna, you know, maybe that comes out at IO in May. But this agentic workflow, that's, you know, even new for me in the last 2 months. It's doing so much, you know, using an LLM, and then you're providing it with audio reference, image reference, even a video reference. You can just take a video and put it into Seedance and say, show me what happens next. As simple as that. And it just, you know, dreams up these crazy things. Or you could give it a lot of parameters. So it's really as little or as much as the user wants to input, which is just crazy.
And do you know what it reminds me of there is, remember in the early days of Midjourney when it was more of a slot machine and there was less control, and it's kind of like that, Andrew, but you've got both sides of the coin now. You've got full control if you want to wield it. Even with video to video, you can give it exact driving motion and then say, you know, copy the motion of this video, but use this as the still image, start frame and stuff. It's truly incredible. And it's the hype is real for a reason, basically, I'd say.
One of the craziest things I saw examples is that they uploaded 2 videos and the prompt was like, take the subject from this video and take the camera motion from that video, and it did it.
Wow. Yeah,
that was insane.
And it's in painting as well, isn't it? You can ask it to remove things from certain video. Like, it's truly multimodal like we've never seen, Andrew. You know, like it's invented new forms of multimodality, in fact, actually.
Do you think
combi videos and stuff?
Do you think Google wait until May, as you said? Do you think that's too long?
I mean, that's just
depends.
Because last year I think that's VO3 when they did it, but you know, I mean, the announcement might have already happened about, you know, Nano Banana 2. I think it's like as of right now it might be public, but I mean, if it's the playbook, you know, maybe, but it depends, I guess, on is everything ready? Because if they launch it and it's like too soon, then people are going to say Seedance won, you know. So it's like an escalating arms race, though. It's crazy.
It truly is, isn't it? And like me and Andrew discussed last week, what's the cost? You know, is VO4 going to be like 10 times more expensive than Seedance potentially? And if it is it 10 times better? It feels hard to even come 2 times better than this right now. So it's going to come down to cost and availability and where it is on the API and how restrictive it is on the usage and all of this other stuff. Also, you know, we have the top AI Google stuff, as most people do, obviously. Is that going to give it unlimited, or they only give unlimited to the older models like VO 3.1 and stuff like this? And then the new model is a credit system. And these are all the questions Andrew always asks them, and he's like, you know, it comes down to cost, mate. It's not just quality, it's cost if you're doing this commercially and at scale, and it's going to start adding up. The more expensive, the better the model, obviously, because obviously they're going to have to compete with models that will be cheaper and better, so that it's going to have to scale down, and it's going to be a hell of a battle.
Yeah,
sure.
I think
I'm loving it though. It's good for the consumer, isn't it? When we've got a lot of that, is basically capitalism if it's in its intentional way. Is like the consumer benefits from good competition and it being like everywhere, you know, like, so
you know what,
that's good for us.
This has occurred to me just recently, is like we're living in the blink of an eye of this shift, because we've had live theater, human acting for a couple thousand years, you know, 1,000 years or more. We've had cinema for like 120, and like that's basically it. And then now what this transition into generating the clips instead of physically shooting them, it's been 4 years, and 2022 is when I got into it, and in 4 years the pace at which it's advanced has been so quick that if you zoom out 4 years, you know, compared to like 1,000 or 2,000 in the terms of humans,
so
acting,
bonkers, isn't it?
Nothing. And I just can't see how you're going to compete with it, you know, like 5 years from now. I mean, you know, commercials at the Super Bowl, it's like we saw a first glimpse of these AI generated, commercials. And I got to think that if you're a business, how are you, and you can create your own commercial with these tools. I mean, physical production, how are you going to compete with that?
Yeah, I think that, do you remember back in the day, I think it was Oreo, there was at the Super Bowl where there was the lights out and then they done the Twitter ad. What was it like? It was soon we'll get to the point where they'll buy the space in the Super Bowl, the ad space, and they'll be making it on the fly because they'll be able to generate some like virtual worlds and stuff. I can see people just doing it on the fly.
The stunts are going to get more and more extreme, aren't they? Because as you say, like, and actually this is a great little segue because in our little WhatsApp group, I was chatting earlier about the importance of live streaming and meeting up face to face, because if you think about social media in general, all organic posts, anything edited, anything pre-recorded, it can all be AI, like, and it's going to become more and more and more and more and more over time, even to the point where, like, and the argument here is probably, Andrew, that social media is driven it this way. Like, it's not actually humanly possible to do what the algorithms demand of you. Turn up daily, post every day, comment every day, do this, do that, do this. It's like, and run a business and do this and do that.
And have a life.
Exactly. So, like, they've made it to the point where we can't physically record content at the scale at which algorithms demand it. So AI becomes the intermediary, and YouTube literally is going to integrate it directly into Shorts, and then Google VO4 could be in Shorts, and then anyone could make any Shorts, and it makes the barrier to entry for everything really, really different. And
when it does that, like Anita mentioned in the chat, story is still important. That's all that's left, and that's all that it ever started from, really, because that's the only thing that has not changed in the thousands of years that humans have been, like, sharing stories.
Exactly.
And the tech is going to continue to evolve, but at the end of the day, no one's going to care if they don't, unless they resonate with the story.
Yeah. It all goes back to what I've said multiple times, more in the training sessions, that when I was younger, there was a game that I used to play on the Mega Drive called Sword of Soden, and it was graphically way better than anything else in the Mega Drive, but it was a terrible game. And I remember thinking to myself, story and gameplay is so much more important than graphics, because it was such a bad game. And it's the same what I see here. I was like, because we've seen so many videos, sometimes we watch a video and it's like, all right, I've seen this before, but it's the ones with the good story, the good concept, and I'm just like, yeah, that's the one.
I saw that with with video games on cell phones maybe like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, where the graphics stopped being important to, like, teenagers at that time. It was more about the gameplay. And, like, when I was a kid in the 90s, it was like escalating about the graphics, who could get better graphics. But then it's like with cell phones, it kind of didn't matter to these kids.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to gameplay and story.
And nostalgia matters because story lasts over time, doesn't it? And, like, I think loads of people still think Tetris and Minecraft, all these, like, games where you're not thinking about the graphics, you're thinking about the nostalgia that it gave you, or the way that you used it, or the device, or how you got access to it, and at the time of which it impacted your life. Was it during your kids' years or teenage years? And it reminded me of your train scene, which we watched, Kyra, where you're going through all the ages and stages of life, and man, best of the year last year, like my favorite all over video.
Thank you guys, I appreciate that,
man. It was and I love that you've always got a story with this. Now, I've read in the copywriting of your post, I said I haven't watched it, but this is again using work that you've done in a band like 20 odd years ago, is that right?
2007, I wrote this song with my bandmates. We performed it live 2 times. We never professionally recorded it, and I always loved the song. But
that's insane.
We've got, honestly, I mean, I have about, I don't know, I want to say about 25 to 30 songs that were never professionally recorded. And this has allowed me to resurrect them. Because think about how many ideas just die in the past or never get shared. And they can evolve over time if you stay with it. And so now this technology, it's evolving my work from 20 years ago.
Nice.
And Andrew, remember when we said like early days, because I think it was Timbaland and Suno, wasn't it? He was saying that like essentially he was going to finish off all of his work in progress tracks that weren't done with Suno and use that as a legit reason to actually finish songs and get more inspiration and stuff. And we said at that time, like, imagine all of the like album that never got a music video. You know, you got that one single with the one big budget for the one big video, and then you got usually like 12 other tracks on that album with no anything except a piece of album art that is so
bring them to life.
Exciting,
right?
Exactly. Bring it to life. Like if you've got like, that's why it's so important to practice creativity frequently, because even if you just add to folders of like samples of stuff, and I do it in Logic all the time, I just make things, put them away, store them, forget about them, and then suddenly one day you're like, oh wait, I've got a half-baked, you know, whatever it was. I can now finish it with AI and add it to a project. And it's like, oh, that's so useful.
I used to do voice recordings where I would just hum in a melody. Melody would pop into my head back when I was in the band. And so I still have them because they don't disappear anymore. You just have them on your phone. And so now you can upload that humming into one of these audio generators, and it's like you can create endless variations. It's just really incredible.
Yeah, that's freaking genius. Because I heard stand-up comedians do the same. You know, whenever an idea pops into their head, they open up the dictation app on their phone, they record it quickly, get that sound bite. Because if you write down like the words, apparently you don't really remember the joke and the premise and the bit or whatever. You know, you have to kind of like have the cadence and the pop in your head and then quickly open your phone. And but melodies, that's my favorite way to actually use AI music generators, is start with something, you know, whether it is just you humming or a beat or something that you've got, and then build around it, you know, rather than just going to AI and saying, build me the first bit. You give it something and your text prompt to add to this, and then start building around it and playing around with it. It's so fun.
It's very satisfying.
What do we need? Yeah, go on, Andrew. Sorry, mate.
Saying some interesting things in the chat. So, California.
I've been told, by the way, the reason I'm not bringing more. Paul is now our producer, my co-founder, and he's telling me if you keep bringing the chat onto the screen, it's really hard to produce clips from this and stuff like that. So that's why, guys. I'm sorry. We'll start reading the chat actually in the chat rather than on the screen and that. But yeah.
So California Girl CG, Teresa said, I don't play an instrument, so hear music and have recordings of melodies. So I guess, loads of melodies. Great idea. I'm the same. YT Bra N said, I made songs using Dance EJ. I remember that from the 90s. I can now re-record my tunes using AI, making it sound even better. I might have to pull out I think it was the Amiga. The Commodore Amiga. I might have to see if I've got that somewhere. I'm sure I started playing around then. And then I
said this when we met up, mate. Everyone's got music in common like this. It's kind of spooky.
It's the universal language.
It's the universal language. Exactly right. Some freaking brilliant.
Yeah, original Marza, Suno and Suno Studios are amazing. But in music, there's some amazing things. But I still think right now, video is the one that, like, every week I'm thinking, wow. You know, with music, it's more occasionally I'll come up with like, wow. But video is the one that I just think, wow, every week.
Yeah, it's incredible.
If you could remake any retro thing, what would you all remake? Oh, well, the reason I like this question is last week we played Uncanny Harry's piece where he was using an out of copyright public domain story. Now, talking about stories, you know, they last centuries. The best ones last, you know, a millennia, it turns out. It's kind of insane, actually, how some stories just carry on and carry on. The hero's journey and all this other thing. Yeah. And I kind of love the idea of like taking mythical, like, public domain stories and then using AI for that, because if you're not as great at storytelling, and it's very hard to write the original story, I'd argue it's a lot harder than making the AI video itself. So then, you know, use something which is already great but hasn't got any IP restrictions or copyright protection, or because it's a public domain thing, and then make it a video to practice your skills, see how the story evolves, and then start like, you know, deconstructing how to do stories, original stories from there. But yeah, that's what I would do, is go remake anything in the public domain essentially that gets your interest. As an answer to that question, what would you guys say if you could remake anything?
Meta Puppet will be the best one to answer this. What's your thought process like? How do you go from here to now people watching it on LinkedIn or YouTube?
I've never used third-party IP. Some people have used it to great effect. I remember years ago with Kevin the Kid, he started doing that with like the Batman and whatnot, you know, making like fan fiction, which I think is dope, you know, and he did it so well because he's talented and built a following that way, which is awesome. I could see how tempting it would be even for like kids or teenagers who don't have a storytelling background, and they can generate. I mean, we saw those clips with Seedance of like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting, you know, like, and it gets millions of views out there, but it's not telling a story, right? And so I went to film school 20 years ago, and so have always wanted to make movies, and I've been in production and post-production for that long in like different jobs. And so with that background and with having written my own material, that's what I'm doing. I just go to my archives. All the stuff that felt like failures at the time were really just like, you know, it's redefined my definition of failure. To me, it's just learning experiences. And honestly, maybe it wasn't ready at this time but now as I get older and get more experience in my life, I see something, you know, where it was like my 25-year-old voice, and you know, you can use it. It can evolve with the times, and this tech, like, you know, with this music video, this song, it has evolved. I went in and I changed some lyrics that I wrote from 20 years ago, just a little bit, because I was like, I don't quite feel that way anymore on this line.
Right, you've matured and moved on, right? You've like, but that's so crazy you say that, because I was watching a Christopher Nolan interview last night, and he was asked a similar question. He was actually asked how he feels about AI and movie making and all of this in the interview, but he essentially said a very similar thing, you know, because the question asked Andrew was, do you need a big budget to make a good film? And he said no. He said, it's about what you plan to achieve versus the budget you've got to achieve it, and whether that's a marryable thing. You know, he said his first ever film was made with zero budget, but the whole thing was written for zero budget, you know. But if you write it with something that needs budget and then you aren't able to achieve that, then that's where you're not going to make a good film. But he said the budget itself has almost zero regarding as to whether it's going to be a good film or not. It's just about like, and he said the same as you did, Meta Puppet. He said, I've had ideas where I sat on them for over a decade because I wasn't ready, the budget wasn't ready, the actors weren't ready, all of the pieces I knew I needed to pull this thing off weren't available to me, and so I had to just sit and mature on it and add things to it, and, you know, maybe redirect it where I needed to make it work. But other than that, it's just a waiting game. And are you ready as the piece or the pawn to direct it? You know, like that's the other consideration, I guess, is age wise, are you ready?
I was thinking of some examples of like Clerks or Pi by Darren Aronofsky, who's, you know, big into the AI space. I think those were both college films. They came out of college with those films. Couldn't have cost more than like $20,000-$30,000. That would be a lot for a college, like a student film or a thesis back in the 90s. And those, you know, the stories, I mean, that launched their careers, right? So the difference now with anybody in film school today is you have these tools that can create that big budget spectacle. You can use it for, you know, anything like, you know, aircraft, spaceships, whatever. And then you start with an establishing shot. You work your way closer to, like, you know, a city, work your way closer to a house. And then you go in that house in a bedroom, and there you can actually shoot with the live actors a scene, you know, but you're using the technology for the stuff that you just couldn't otherwise afford.
Look at this OG stuff being written in the chat. Oh my God, Danny, you're a legend, mate. He was our standout creator of a few
El
weeks ago,
Mariachi,
by the
yeah,
way.
that's another one.
Yeah, and he's telling us it was $6,000 to make the following, and it was put on a credit card to make Clerks at $26K. El Mariachi. I also heard, what's that one? Is it Bewitched? No, well, the one that the handheld camera. Blair Witch.
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
So I went to college right after those guys, and I interned with them right before that movie came out.
Oh, really? Wow.
That cost them $30,000. They put it on credit card.
Exactly.
They shot it.
$30,000 as well. Holy
they shot it out in, I think, Maryland, in the woods, somewhere around that area.
That's crazy.
And the actors, they had a code word because they left the actors out in the woods. And it was like a terrible storm, and they said the code word, and so one time they had to get them and bring them back. But they maxed out their credit cards, and then they just edited the thing, and they took a risk and paid off.
It's like, it's truly amazing, isn't it? And
So a really good question came from, where is it? I think it's gone up now. Where is it? Somebody said they want to break down how MetaPuppet goes. Here you go. E Fumi said, would love to hear more about MetaPuppet step by step after he has an idea.
Wow.
Is it different every time, or is it?
Yeah, I have to say, because with different tools, when they come out, it is a different workflow. Yep. Like now with the agentic workflow, it's pretty nuts now. I my background's writing and editing, and those are the things that I'm passionate about doing. So I write the script myself. But now you can take that script or shot list or whatever, and you can just upload it into one of these agents, and it will help you break down the character prompts, the scene prompts, the storyboards, all of that. Whereas a year ago and 2 years ago, it was all, I was just doing that step by step manually, one at a time. So I don't know. And the editing part, I still edit that traditionally, just going to Premiere, Resolve, because I know eventually AI will get really good at writing and editing, and it will be able to do the whole thing. But I think really the way to use it, and the way I try to use it, if it's replacing the thing that you enjoy or you're passionate about, then what's the point of that? You're doing it.
I agree.
For me, production, that was the missing piece. You have pre-production, production, and post-production, writing it, shooting it, editing it. And I have a background in 2 of the 3. So the missing piece for me was production. So when this tech started coming around a few years ago, I was like, well, I could use this. But I don't let it write it for me. I don't let it edit it for me. And the great thing is that you as a user, if you hate writing or editing, then you can use the tool for that, So it's really it's so versatile. And that's why it's disrupting every industry.
Yeah, very true.
It's so interesting to show how it fills in the blanks like that, because as you say, like Paul, my co-founder, said to me, mate, I'm going to have to stop leaning on Gemini for ideation, because I stopped practicing that, and sometimes I stop routinely doing that, but that's what I'm good at. And so I've accidentally leaned into giving it the thing that I'm wanting to do more of myself, and not leaned into the other side of things, which is the research and the boring stuff, So again, it's just about reshuffling how you work, where you work with the AI, in order to maximize what you do enjoy within the stuff, and using it to fill in the rest. And the best ones do, as we've found out. Like Dave's just been writing scripts, right? And Kavan the Kid and NeuroViz is comedy writing, and they just lean into all their strengths and then use AI for the other things that they weren't able to do before all of this. And that's why you guys are the best in the world, and everybody knows it too, because each individual one of you has an identifying thing. Without watching this video, or about to, I bet I can tell it's a MetaPuppet video, because of the things that you leave in your video every time. It's like your signature, I
try to have a voice and like a brand, and it's funny because at the same time,
great,
because now it's like I feel like the MetaPuppet videos do have a bit of a voice. It's just me, it's my voice, right? But at the same time, I like to do like really stupid, silly shit that I feel like I can't do now with MetaPuppet, because I have to start like a fake channel, like an anonymous channel.
But that's so important to have that signature on it. It's like all these like rap producers, like DJ Khaled, just to say, hey, it is me, or Neptune,
exactly.
Pharrell and Chad, they had a particular sound or used particular instruments, you know.
Somebody told me in the film industry, she said the most important thing that you have is your identity, and you have to fiercely protect that, because no one else will. And that's the only thing that's going to make you stand apart, you know, because that's you.
Yeah. And I think in a world of AI, I think that's going to be even more important. I think that's really good, because everyone can, I've often said that everyone's basic level is going to go up to here now, because everyone can use the tools. Well, with a prompt and an imagination, you can use the tool. But if you can then put your own spin on it, your own identity,
personality,
then everyone's going to say, all right, well, we know that's Meta Puppet.
But I always say it's also like the piano. Like there's pianos everywhere, but not everybody's Mozart, right? It's the same keys. It's the same keys, same notes. Yeah. It all comes down to the user.
Yeah. Brilliant. Are we going to play, Chris? Can you hear us, Chris?
Oh, we lost it.
Yeah, you're on mute, Chris. I don't know. We can't hear you. Yeah, I think we've lost him. We've lost you, Chris.
Glad Chris is feeling better. He was sit there for a bit, you know.
So while we wait for Chris to join us again, where do you think? I'm not even going to say like next year. Where do you think we'll be by summer with all of this?
Oh man, I do think we're going to see the VO4. Somebody said like 3.2 or whatever. We'll see the next iteration of that. But honestly, I mean, I think a lot of the like we talked about restrictions. Yeah. That's just going to have to work its way through court cases, and I think that's just going to take a long time. I think we're going to see, I don't know, more and more short films is my hope, and not just these splashy 15-second videos.
Yeah, the AI slop. Yeah.
Right. And I do think like you have like, creators that are making shorts, and they are getting picked up. Like there are people in Hollywood, they're watching this, they're seeing all this, they're experimenting behind the scenes. But by summertime, that's only a few months away, and I think we're going to see the competitors to Seedance come out with their models, and it's going to be just the new normal. Like last year, VO3 it happened, and then there's a new normal like every year.
That's true. Do you feel that sites like Pika Labs and Runway, do you feel that they're going to be, because they don't have huge financial backing behind them like a Google or a ByteDance, do you think they're going to have their own place, or do you feel like?
I think Runway they just did a big valuation, or big, they raised a lot of money, and I think they're valued at like $4 billion now.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
Yeah, but Pika, I think, pivoted to social media. I think they pivoted. So yeah, it's wild.
Sorry I dropped out there, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to run it through a new browser at the moment, but yeah. Can you hear me right?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Without further ado, though, anyway, Meta Puppet, we want to get around to your video. I've been bigging you up. I told you I didn't want you to have to stay too long because I knew you were working, bro. I really appreciate you dropping in. So for those that we've been bigging it up to, me and Andrew, like I said, have not seen this purposefully. So this is a real-time reaction. That's the sort of go for the show. Anything else the people that haven't seen it like us need to know prior to us watching it, or should we just go straight in?
It's a song about connection, put it that way.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that little subtle way to be thinking about it as we're watching it, Beautiful, right? Cheers. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
She She was staring at the ground where her soul was lying in a million pieces. She whispered to me, it was something I will never forget. Hold me in the dark so I can sleep. Hold me in the dark so I can sleep. Hold me in the dark. And she said, will you hold me in the dark so I can stay? She left me on my knees as I'm calling out her name. She was floating on a breeze, the redemption in her pain. Said we're the same. There were angels in her voice. They were calling out to me. They were miles away from me. But her soul was in my hands. She's holding on to faith and holding on to grace, but holding on to pain is something I can feel in her soul. Will this love save me? Or throw this life away? Throw this life away. Oh no, I have so much love to give that before the system sleeps, I will find the other half. The connection be complete. I know you're out there somewhere for me. She's walking away. But she's walking away. She's walking away. She's walking.
Wow. That was amazing.
Brother.
Yeah.
Oh my freaking
This is
god, dude.
Danny's comment in the chat. This cop has no respect for traffic.
Oh
I have
my
so many
god. I had
questions.
goosebumps from 30 seconds in.
I have
all
so
the
many
way to the
questions. So
end.
many questions.
Oh
What?
my god.
Well,
So-
Well, first of all, thank you everybody in the chat, and
round of applause,
I see some friends,
guys.
I see some friends in the chat here and everything. So good to see you guys here. Thanks for watching. Glad you guys like it.
God, dude.
Did you? So this was a song that is your song.
Yeah, I was in a band. Yeah, 20 years ago, 2007. We wrote this and used AI to remix it.
Okay, I was about to say. So I was going to sound the sound of it. Like, how did you re-record it? But you used AI to do that.
Well, and I had an old practice recording, which is just terrible quality, and I uploaded that, and that was the input source. And
that's
then
freaking
running,
unbelievable.
And then I'd splice together the good part. But
it was it the same key and the same chord progressions and the same drop, sort of similarly, but like a downgraded version that you'd created then, and
the same key, the same tempo.
Wow!
It did change parts. Like there were parts, and then I could choose. There were ones that were closer to the original, and then just variations that I liked better. You know, the singer.
So you did exactly what I said is my favorite thing to do with AI is you fed it all the stems and you remixed it, you added around it, you built it up into something better, and man.
And I did this with 9 other tracks. So I created this was over Thanksgiving and Christmas just recently. I did 10 tracks. That song was written by myself and my band. The other 9 were just solo ones that I wrote from back in the day. And so I can't
wait for the album.
An album that I'm going to drop on Spotify, but I had to create the music first.
Yeah.
And then I had to create the band, and I created these 4 personalities that I was just like, I was thinking of myself.
I love that you did that. I love that you had the stage and the like live performance.
I was going to say, was that from?
It was genius, because then to have the like CGI special effects of the angels and the crashing cars alongside the band on stage, because that feels like how a real music video is made. You know, it's
interesting, right? To make this video, I had to first make the music, then make the band, then make the video. You know,
so it wasn't the band from before. You didn't, or was it? It just completely different.
Yeah, because this is the only song that was actually from my whole band. The other ones were 9 solo tracks. And so I always liked, I was in rock and metal bands, but I always loved like trip hop and things that were just more like chill and lo-fi and stuff. So this is actually, the album is more of, I'd say, like a trip hop with elements of rock and trap.
Cool. Like a hybrid album. That's even cooler. So it's not just going to be like heavy drops. It's going to be some chill vibes. And
but I put in a band. Like when I was in my 20s, I thought back and I was like, who did I think I was? Who did I want to be? What girl did I want to date? Who did I want to be friends with? And I created these 4 personalities. Yeah. And I did live touring and all that.
You're freaking genius, dude.
It's really, really difficult, the music industry. And we toured, we went cross country in the back of a cargo van with no seats, and we were in sleeping bags, and we did all that. And like, I'm so glad. I never want to do that again. What we wanted was what you see. We wanted to play in stadiums and have all this, huge crowds and whatnot. And the fact is that this AI dude that I picked is just a better singer than I am. It sounds better. And so, but I wrote, I'm writing the songs, it's my lyrics. And so it was very satisfying for me. It must be like a writer who, you have a lot of pop stars today, Taylor Swift, and they don't write all their songs. They have songwriters. So I was just like, I'm going to take the role of the songwriter, and this is now my band. And here we go.
I love it.
It was Suno, right? Or what was the Suno.
And then for the video, what was that done in?
Kling, it started with 2.6 and then 3.0 came out. And because I was doing this over the holidays, and then just recently when I got access to Seedance, I was just on a family vacation, and I was just like cranking it out at night on Seedance.
Nice.
Just last week.
On vacation. I remember you sending the photo of the lovely beach, and like, it's just not fair when you go back to New York and you see all that meter-high snow, is it? And then you get hit with another storm like here. And
snowstorm.
By the way, here's a cheeky little UK reference from Danny. Are you secretly from Bristol, Meta? Because Bristol is where it all kicks off in the trip hop type of stuff.
And drum and bass as well. It's like
drum and bass,
in the 90s So it was like Massive Attack, Portishead, like
Yes,
that kind of
exactly.
stuff. I loved that stuff.
Oh man. I actually think with this new music platform, instead of going to just massively infringing with people, you can then do by inspired by, you know, instead of sounds exactly like. And I think that doing some inspired by Massive Attack stems and then making it your own and personalize it would be really, really fun for anyone that's in the know and loves that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was super cool. Do another one on your coffee break. That's funny. You know, it was super cool to you know, because I sang on these old practice recordings, and to change my voice, and like, you know, I would try out male voices and I'd try out female voices, and it was funny because on the majority of the tracks I liked the girl better. I liked the female voice better. So it was just funny to hear something that I sang, you know, being sung
female voice. Yeah,
and I preferred it.
I've got two more music related things because we're heading on for the hour already, and I appreciate you've been with us a full hour, Matt. I really appreciate it. You're the most talented person I know. I'm going to tell you that. It's seriously incredible to like have you join us and talk about this. And the two music things I saw this week, right? I saw AI compared to sampling, Andrew, and I thought that was a genius way to think about it, because think of all of the amazing musicians that started their life with sampling, like Kanye West and all these people, and you know, like that is going back into IP and adding. Now the thing that's genius about sampling and the best, like Jay Dilla and people like these are my personal favorites, right? RIP. He would slow things down to the point where it's unrecognizable to the sample that was being used, and he actually created new waveforms, and that's what I think is inspired by Portishead. Add new waveforms, create new assets, you know, not actual existing IP, but remixing the past culture as to something new. That was the first piece that I wanted to talk about, was this idea of AI in general is like sampling, in that is spawned all of this. And the other one is just about copyright in general, you know, like I think in the near future with music, and the idea that like apparently Spotify is receiving over 70% of AI songs as its daily submissions now. It's like it's over half of all of its music, at least. That's what I was reading, is being, you know, it's being detected as AI generated or whatever.
You really have to have that human. That's why, you know, if you ingest or upload a melody or something like that, you have to have that human imprint on it in order for it to be copyrightable.
Exactly. And so now I think that like someone like you, Meta, who's pulling such, by the way, your name every week grows in terms of what it means to me, because now I think Meta Puppet pulls all the strings of the music video creation from band to everything. I'm just thinking of you orchestrating this thing from above now. Like I'm like, this is crazy. You know, he's built a stage persona, he's built it.
I'm so glad you like it. It's just like 20 years in the making, man. It's just this is all I've ever wanted to do, and I just stuck with it. And so I'm happy that this stuff I'm able to share it now. That's funny. Real quick, that video in 2007, I had the video idea, but what it was back then was it was like it started off with a baby climbing out of the subway stairs. And I just the shot, and it was crawling, and it was just getting, then it turned into a toddler and it stood up, and then it turned into a kid, and it was growing and into a teenager by the time it got to the edge of the street. And then across the street was a girl, and he was having to cross the street, and he was then middle-aged, and then he was old age, and follows her down back into the subway, and they're old. So it was just like, maybe I guess I have a thing with the cycles of life, because Kyra did it with the subway, and it was a subway thing. But that was kind of the seed for this. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do babies because that gets blocked all the time. Really, it's very tough to do. And I've done babies before. It's like I've done enough babies for it.
I remember your plastic baby one. That was brilliant.
Baby, Eve and Adam was a baby being kidnapped, and Kyra had the baby train. So this, you know, started evolving, and it was like connection. What happens when, you know, you're disconnected from each other? But also I had this idea of the guardian angel, and it's implied maybe something happened to her human counterpart, and it got ripped away, and there she is now in the physical world. And so, you know, when he connects to her, she transfers her energy, and then he finds her later, and he will do anything to reconnect. And it's crossing that street. And when Seedance came out, all of these visuals were possible with these car crashes. Like I was like, well, I want to have some spectacle now because we have this new tool.
Mate, I love how that was the twist at the end. It's just like the angels are walking and the cars are like flipping around them, and you were like, oh my god, he's like, it reminds me of Dave actually, because Dave, every time a new thing comes out, he pushes it with the limits of what he knows it can bring to the scenes, you know, the problem solving it can do. And as we know, Kling 3 is great on like dialogue and emotion, but not action really. And VO3 still lacking on that too. Like Seedance is just such a cut above in action. Just generally VFX and action, Andrew. It's kind of any scene in anything you're making that requires action is gonna be Seedance until someone matches it with its capabilities, is for sure.
But here's the thing: 3 questions, and they're all kind of connected. How, I know you said you've done it over like the Thanksgiving and Christmas, but how many hours did it take? How much would something like this cost? And how many prompts would be used? Like, are you hitting it right, like 1 every 2 or 1 every 3 prompts you're getting the right scene? Or
well, it did change with the tools because I don't know how many hours it took, because it was Thanksgiving holiday, it was Christmas break, it was some nights and weekends, it was this last vacation. It's hard to add up. But and again, I started with just music. I just started with Suno. And was doing that, and then I was like,
how long did that part take just on its own, just the Suno part?
I want to say just like a few weeks just to do the Suno stuff. And then the band, it's like, all right, well, who are the people in the band? And so I had to like start working on that, and that was just still images. And then by the time I got to this video with Generations, Seedance was this was the first time I had this problem. We have a new problem now since 2022. We've been doing this, and this is the first time where I had too many good gens. Too many. Because in the past, in order to get like a gem, it was like, oh my god, I got one. But with Seedance, it was like every one I was like, and then I can edit a second out of here or 2 seconds out of there. And I have all these shots that didn't make it in that are just awesome shots. So it was the first time I had that problem.
Please send the B-roll. I want to see some of the B-roll. You have to make a follow-up video or something with the B-roll. Man, as you know, what I was thinking is like, this song is so good, bro, that you must have been thinking, oh shit, I've got to match this with the visuals, because it's so epic, the drop and stuff. Like, you must have just been loving it when you got that eventually out of Suno. Like, how heavy that drop is it's kind of crazy. Like, I was sitting here legit with goosebumps from the visuals and the music going, this is the Gen AI MTV I talked about like a year ago, Andrew. You know, right there is Meta Puppets made this, and it could be front homepage of the new Gen AI MTV, you know? And man,
I do think even with the rest of the album, part of me doesn't want to put it out without a video for the song, because I think it has more impact, you know? But
it shows a lot more consideration too, obviously, and it will stand out when we've got so much on Spotify and others coming through this medium now. And it's going to be the all-in-one package. But the story, you know, I think these live telling of the story and the interviewing of the people is actually the bit that makes me love you the most, because it's always got that nostalgia. It's always got that 20-year thing. It's got that, like, as you said, that progression and something that's been building over time. It's not just a fleeting idea that you've prompted, and you can really tell the thoughtfulness shines through every single time. It's incredible how you do it, and every time you put things out, I'm like, God, how do we get you on as soon as it goes out? That's my next thought, is like,
thank you, man.
How do we secure him? Because this is going to become like, you know, the stages are going to get bigger and bigger for you, man.
No, thank you, man. You know, I love you, and it's like I thought of you right away because you're the music guy, and so I was like, man, I can't wait for Chris, and I wanted to premiere it, but it was just timing with the whole this whole release, as we've talked about with Seedance.
Oh no, dude, don't. You know, I would have felt bad if you'd premiered it here, having seen it now, because of the size of our audience that tunes in live. At least we've got a big audience outside of the live, but you know, it's literally deserving of hundreds of millions of views. Like, it literally is. Like, I put it up there with anything we've seen at all ever. And that's because I like the genre is great, the story is great, the song's great, the video's great, every element that could have been in that thing. And you know what's crazy is that's a 5-minute odd music video. It's so hard to keep the retention for 5 minutes, have double drops, you know, over time. Like, it's mind-blowing shit.
The actual song is 6.5 minutes, and my wife was like, gotta make it shorter. And so I cut out 1.5 minutes. So I had to edit the song first to then edit the video, you know.
Well, it's the radio one, you know,
the radio
like
one
when you release
the radio one
like
6.5 minutes. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get the radio friendly one, and
right.
But bro, like seriously, I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. I actually love like trip hop and stuff, and both genres, you know, like it's like maybe that's why I'm so in love with it, honestly, is because I would listen to that song, and I will be listening to that song when you put it on Spotify and stuff like that. It's legit going in my playlist.
Nice.
Which is just super wild when it comes with like a music video and everything, bro. I can't believe it's not already fucking everywhere. It should be everywhere. You really
well, thank you, man. It's just very satisfying for me to finally get it out of my head and to be able to share it, you know. So feels it, you know, we're living in wild times right now. And Danny asked it, am I frustrated when new tools are released and able to create things that previously took days, weeks, and minutes and hours? No, I'm not. I'm actually relieved, because then I've gone through it enough times to where I remember trying to do lip sync and consistency and all that in 2023. You know how hard it was back then? So it's like, no, it's like I remember those phases. So every time a new tool comes out that makes it easier, I'm just all for it.
Yeah.
It is making me a kid again, Lola and Glenn. You're absolutely right. It pushes all my buttons here. Like I said, I'm more passionate about music than anything else. And I knew, having met you, when I met you face to face for the first time at Adobe, we had a chat straight away about, you know, you're in a band, I was in a band, I DJ'd, I toured for over a decade. Andrew was at Radio 1. You know, every single person I know has got some musical background, if not just passionate as a consumer, you know, like if they haven't practiced or played or done anything. So it pushes all my buttons in a way where I'm like, my God, you know, like, yes, filmmaking makes me happy and I love all your films and stuff. Spec ads makes me money and I know how that works inside out. Music videos is my number one though, you know, just because if you make the song as well and it's not just a music, like a famous song that you've made a music video for, I'm much more interested in a Suno augmented version of your own idea. That is the full package, and I've never seen it pulled off like that before, mate.
Wow.
The only person we've seen close actually is Kelly Bosch. If you know her.
I discovered her through you talking about her.
Millions of monthly Spotify plays, as you will get if you continue to do this music side. You know, I know day to day that you are doing films and you're working at Promise and all of that, but whatever, you know, time outside of being a dad you get to just continue the music shit, you know, my God, dude, you can get 1 million monthly plays as well on Spotify, legit. Like, it's
your reaction is good enough, man. That's all.
Bro, I will be
super glad you guys like it.
No, I really do. You know what it also reminded me of? That nostalgia. It's almost like this new AI stuff bringing back nostalgia. I was watching that thinking, I remember back in the day where it was like MTV and the box music television you control and watching their videos. And it was like, I want to see that one again. If it was the box, you'd call them up again. And it reminded me of that. Who's the group that done Black Hole Sun? Black Hole
Soundgarden.
But Soundgarden, like no videos like that I used to watch, and it wouldn't necessarily be the music that I'll be like listening to, but I'd appreciate it. And then I start to get into that music, and I started to listen, and I'd be like wanting to hear more of in that genre. And I think that's the beauty of that video. It kind of brought back nostalgia, but also it brings in other people from other genres to listen to, like who's into other genres to listen to and appreciate it and be like, that's a good song, because a good song is a good song, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the key thing.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great to hear. That video is dope, where her eyes get real big. You can do that with AI now.
Exactly. Yeah. So loads of people's put Soundgarden. Yeah. Even like I said, I remember that from back in the day, like
Oh
Yeah,
man, I love this comment from Jimmy as well at 404 Films saying this is like a, this is like a drawing a line in the sand. In February of 2026, Meta Puppet came out with this music video of this quality, with his own sound, his own music. This is the standard from this year, this month. Like onwards and upwards. You've just set a new bar, bro. It's
I love it. I'll be a marker.
Lovely.
Yeah, I love to hear it.
Right, well, you can go back to work and get on with your amazing projects if you like. We're going to continue watching some stuff.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for coming.
And thanks to everybody in the comments. It's awesome to see some friends and I'm glad you guys liked the video.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Lola's the best. She's so funny.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, thanks again, Meta Puppet. You know what I mean? It's always a pleasure when you appear. And
thank you, man. Anytime.
Drop your wisdom.
Yep.
Anytime.
Send love to all the Promise crew as well from us.
Yeah,
I will.
We've still got one. I think we've got one more to get on, haven't we? I think we've had Uncanny Harry. We've had nearly everyone. Oh, it's the French. Is it Guillaume or Guillaume? Yeah. Right. I think he's our last get now. So I'll be working on that. Gotta get him. Hey, Linus in the chat. Let's go.
Linus. What's up? Awesome, guys. All right. Well, we'll talk soon. Cheers, everybody.
Take care. On the other side, bro.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Much love. Oh, man. I can't believe it. We might have to do what we did with the Door Brothers last week and just watch that on the outro again, that music video, because... Bro,
you know what? This is why I love this show. It reminds me of when I first started doing radio shows back in the day, and then you would have, especially in the UK scene, you'll have these artists that not many people would know. They'll be big in their scene, but they'll just appear on the show, and it'll be random. They'll just phone you up, and then they'll just come into the studio, and then next thing you know, in a few years' time, these guys are some of the biggest artists in the world. This is what I think. This is why I love it.
Does it kind of remind you of that because that was legit your life, mate? Remember?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we would be sitting there with like many artists in the UK scene and just being around, like from Dizzy Rascal to Amy Winehouse to Adele to all of these people that were just there, but no one had heard of them. And then years later they blow up, and then this reminds me, it's like we're back there again. So it's exciting.
It is exciting, isn't it? It's the new wave of the new people. I wonder who there will be. Like Meta Puppet seems to me like a Biggie Smalls 2-pack level. Like gonna be a great. And that's what I love about him so much is. He's just created everything like brand wise. I've told him a lot of this in the past, like it's kind of genius the way that he's branded himself and like the way everyone knows him as Meta Puppet and everything like this. It's truly ahead of its time thinking. And it shows he's got a music background because we know so many musicians that do this, right? Like I was saying to Paul, actually, the thing about everyone's life right now on the internet, if you're a personal brand, is everyone knows every move you make, or TMZ, or someone's trying to track you on every photos. So the mystique is the allure, like it's kind of awesome. And we're seeing loads of anonymous people like SD Kid, who's a Liverpool rapper who no one knows his identity, blowing up right now because it's all conversation about, is he Timothy Chalamet? Is he this? Is he that? And then on the streaming side of things, there's this guy called the Burnt Peanut, who's literally just a burnt peanut character avatar that nobody knows who he is, and he's the biggest streamer in the world right now. So I think it's the Banksy effect, mate. It's literally should be called that if it's not already. I'm sure it is, but I actually love this anonymity, this character creation, this whole bit. He still appears live on stream and talks, and it's amazing. It's such a I've got nothing but amazing things. Burnt Peanut. I know. What a name, Glenn. I couldn't believe it. If you go search that on YouTube right now, mate, and you click any of those links, unfortunately, your whole YouTube algorithm will be taken over by his clips because it's quite literally just, he's the #1 streamer in the world right now. He just won all the streaming awards and stuff, and he's a Burnt Peanut character. But it is what it is. These are the times we live in, It's like, how do you stand out when everyone knows everything about your life every day? You do the opposite, You go against the grain.
Exactly. It's like that artist with the mushroom. What's his name? Not Marshmallow.
Oh yeah, Marshmallow. Yeah. Dead Mouse, Daft Punk. You know, all these helmeted characters are far more memorable than the faces of the people underneath them, and they recognize that as brand creators because they're entrepreneurs. You know, like many of the hip hop guys, they knew they were building a brand much more than other musicians. And many of them went on to make multi-billion-dollar other brands because of the knowledge they've got. So some other quick fire stuff I wanted to get through, guys, because now we've had the amazing interview out. There is tons of stuff I want to talk about this week, right? These are just rapid fire, and I just want some quick discussions on what they could be and what it could implement. The first one I want to talk about, and I haven't seen hardly anyone discuss this one yet, is Seedance. Yes, it's amazing for action sequences, but motion design is not something that many people are talking about. But check this out, mate.
Wow.
Pretty impressive, huh?
That's so many ads.
So much can be opened up with that. And it's not being explored nearly enough because everyone's just trying to do, as MetaPuppet said, you know, Elon Musk fighting, you know, Iron Man or whoever. It's like, instead, guys, try and really push this thing. It's really wildly capable of things that we haven't even tried yet, like advanced motion design stuff. Now, I will say instantly, there was some text that was garbled there, which couldn't be used professionally. And you'd have to do some like post-production fixes or some other bits and pieces to make it truly, you know, deliverable to a client. But that is really far ahead of any other motion design I've ever seen any other platform create at the same time, which is why I picked it as an example this week. Kind of impressive that was actually something you can do. And Linus is always telling me about these things, and I follow him all the time on X because he's figuring out these examples and sending them. Great.
I just got to jump in. Can you put Linus up there again? Everyone, don't follow this guy. This guy, I know. Before I even knew who he was, I was been following this guy. He's one of the key guys to follow in the world of AI if you want to just stay up to date.
He truly is. Yeah, and he knows everyone, by the way, and he's the nicest guy I've met as well. Like, he's one of the good guys, and he pushes some buttons. He talks about some controversial things, but he's on X as a platform, so you know you've got to be relevant there. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I'm also very jealous of his streaming setup. I told him this earlier, Andrew. He was sending me pictures, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is nuts!" He's got a full setup. He's in Thailand, by the way, right now with his family. But
Thailand's the best place in the world.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it? I'm also jealous of that. I told him Massaman curry is my favorite food in the world right now, and I'm so jealous that he can just eat it, you know, and have nice weather and stuff.
as well. That's the thing.
Exactly. You can't beat local prices.
When I came back from Thailand, I love pad thai, and I couldn't buy pad thai in the UK for about 3 years because one, it didn't taste as nice, and two, it was 10 times more expensive.
It was about 15 quid, I bet.
Yeah, I'm like, I paid £3 for this in Thailand, and I don't want to pay £16 for it here. You know, I was just like, I literally could not buy it. Yeah.
It does put you off when you've had the like local cuisine in the place that you know. I remember going and trying curry in all of the Asian places that I'd had it in the UK, and I was like, yeah, like I said, 10 times cheaper, 10 times better. Now can I go back and do it again? I don't know. It's annoying. Anyway, I said we were going to be rapid fire, and this is a silly little example I made with CapCut of me and you fighting, just to test this type of thing out. Just a silly little combat sequence testing, you know, how that would work as a prompt. Did it work? Did it stick to the style? Did it understand the
break
prompt?
that down. How did you do that? How did that whole thing work?
So I took a screenshot of like how a Mortal Kombat sort of like layout looks, and then I asked Nano Banana to replace the characters that were there with us as characters instead. Then I used that as an image frame of reference in Omni to go through to Seedance, and then I didn't give it a video as a reference point. I just wanted to see what it could do based on what it knew of this type of gameplay, and what it did, as I told you, is it kind of zoomed in, you know, where it wouldn't do in a normal game. I kind of liked that too. It was kind of a mashup. Yeah, it was kind of a mashup thing, but it wasn't intentional. But yeah, just checking things out with Seedance, seeing how it works. Yeah, it's kind of insane, actually. Another thing I wanted to showcase is because we're going to do rapid fire, and then we've got some more music videos and some other stuff. Man, there's just so much going on in terms of how Seedance can be used. Now, this is a very generic example, but I just wanted to show you this one as like because it's got no story, no nothing, right? It's just B-roll footage. Think of it as that, like, you know, how quality of the B-roll footage could be for, say, a shampoo ad.
Strength in every drop, shine that lasts.
It's just a 15-second one-shot Seedance prompt, but the idea that MetaPuppet said earlier, you can take scenes from that. You know, you can take the hair, the moisture, the drop, the, you know, whatever you like, and then edit that into something more of a story. And it's really usable. Like everything that you create in Seedance that's 15 seconds, you get 2 to 3, even more, sometimes usable bits, like MetaPuppet was saying. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. So that was just that rapid fire idea. This next one is not an AI ad. This is my favorite ad of the week that I haven't seen anyone really talk about here in the UK, because I guess you have to be a basketball fan. But mate, I'm not going to tell you anything about this ad before I show it, because the whole thing is like how funny it is because of the premise of it. But yeah, check this one out. This is a real ad that was made, and I thought this could have been AI, and it could be genius if someone like Simon Mayer or someone did it.
So hold on, was this a real ad, you say?
Real ad, yeah.
Wow,
as in, like, they definitely use CGI or something in order to extend his legs.
I mean, he approved it and everything.
He approved it. It's really him. He's really the face. It's not a spec ad or AI involved. I'm just saying that could have been an AI spec ad and would have been genius if it had been. But that's like a bit of
easy
inspiration.
To replicate.
Exactly.
Easy to replicate.
That's why I'm bringing in like traditional ads, because like I said a few weeks ago, we're very fortunate that we know the advertising history. We also have a good like insight into current advertising, what's doing best and that. And people that are making spec ads generally don't, you know, have an advertising network or background and see these ads. And that one was surfaced to me via Drum Magazine, and I was like, well, that's actually genius, you know, but big budget, big ad, real person, not AI, but could have been all of the above, you know, could have been all AI with Simon Mayer. Like I said, that's a lot of leg. Yes, it was a lot of leg. Seedance is the winner of tonight. Yes, I mean, it's so hard to go back, honestly. Omni Reference has changed the way that I prompt. It's changed a lot of the way that I think about AI in general now, because as I was saying a few weeks ago, all of my audio clips that I've been saving for years now are so useful now in Seedance, and no other platform you can just upload audio to as a reference. And now I'm going to try MetaPuppet's tip, which was combining videos, because I didn't know that you could actually use multiple driving videos.
Yeah, that's
like
interesting.
the motion from this one and the scene from that. I can't even fathom how that one is possible, but that's a pro tip for anyone that has got access right now, is like try combi videos in your Omni Reference, because that's just taking things to a whole new level that I've not even tried yet. But yeah, single video and audio and image is kind of a game changer, mate. It truly is. Like, you're just like, anywhere else now feels like it's lacking that stuff, so you're instantly like, oh, maybe I could go and, you know, wait until they've added it, basically, at this point. Yeah, because it's going to get that way. Right, what else have we got? Okay, let's have a music video break, and then we're going to do some more quick fire, rapid fire spec ads and stuff like that, or just some showcases of Seedance, I think, as well. We've got this one is a real music video, as in, like, this is Snoop Dogg official, as not a spec ad for a spec music video for Snoop Dogg. I actually saw this on what's his, Death Row Records or something like that. Death Row Records AI, and I think he has a whole new Death Row Records AI, mate. I think that's what's going to happen. It's kind of smart in it to like diversify and go, look, all of this will be like maybe real music, but with AI visuals, or it could be AI music, but at least there's some element of AI on Death Row AI. So this one was surfaced to me. I don't know if it was Jimmy or someone else that DM'd me on LinkedIn saying, oh my God, have you seen this? Same week as Meta Puppet. But yeah, crazy. Let's watch it.
Big boss, nothing near y'all. I'm way up yonder, nigga can't hear y'all. Rough road with a near fall. Take a look back, cuz yeah, I had a good year, dawg. I show you how to get off, baby blew the lid off. Now I'm at the pad, a nigga slid off. I'm too cool for you fools. You niggas overheating and you about to blow a fuse. Couldn't walk a step in my motherfucking shoe. See, I refuse to lose to you suckers. I'm your superior, dumb motherfuckers. Can't you smell me in the air? Every time you look around, a nigga right there. I get money while you get sleep. Peep, on the sea, a nigga worth about a beat. Ticket, Mr. Universal Pictures. Nigga, I'm wicked. You get that part, the shit that start, and cuz try to skip that part, but I'ma bring it back and uncrypt that mark. I'm back on mine, back on time, representing back online. Seems to come from the closest. They tend to wanna hurt you. That's why I don't rely on these squares in my circle. Stretched out, flexed out, bitch nigga X'd out. Let me show you niggas what the West bout. Cooked up this hot beat, now you on a hot seat. Look you in the eyes, you are not me. Rusted by that much.
Mental, eh?
Yeah, that is I like the concept. I liked it. But and I can't,
when you compare it to Meta Puppet, is like it's very hard on the same episode.
Yeah, I did like it, but yeah, like Teresa said, video game vibes. Yeah, it had that. I did like it, but there is a but there, but I can't tell you what the but is. However, I do think that Death Row AI is going to be something, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to have Time Warner AI, Universal AI, all the record label AI, and there's going to be an AI division that's going to make all of these songs, which is going to be ironic because what you're going to find.
I think it's actually the only way to do it, because if you try and combine it in the regular thing, people are going to get pissed off. You have to separate it as a different entity, like, and make it obvious to everyone that there's this and there's that and they're different. And, you know, because if you try to just produce AI through the regular label or whatever, it's going to come with backlash. It's got to, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's going to be quite ironic, because the music industry that's against AI will also be using AI, you know, and this is what you're going to see. You're going to have a lot of people that will be, I'm against AI, I think it's bad, but they'll still use it. And then the reason why they're against it, a lot of the time for job loss, they will use it to create job loss for other areas as well. So I think that's going to be quite interesting, because the music industry, you turn around and look at Sonauto and say that's out of order, but then we'll use all of these AI tools to bring their imagination to life. So I think that's going to happen quite a bit as well. And I think we're going to go through this whole gray area for quite a long time.
Yes, me too, mate. And like, it's going to muddy the waters, you know, like, and it's going to be weird out there. But we're going to see some incredible stuff come through, and the meta puppets of this world that surface through this medium, you know, the ones that were in a band 20 years ago that can now use Suno to remix their shit. It's like, that, I actually can't wait for that. I really, I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of those, but those that do surface will be like, you know, straight on my playlist. That's for sure. But yeah, let's rapid fire through some other examples. I was actually going to show this piece during Meta Puppet being here, because it does include him. But this was just me testing, because now I have access via CapCut. I can actually talk about the fact that I'm doing some stuff with it and testing it and stuff like that. Whereas before I couldn't, you know, via the other access that I have. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what you can do. I was playing around with just putting me in Meta Puppet in some scenes and trying. Honestly, I wasn't doing some of the most unique stuff like the motion design, and I'll be doing more tests like that. I was just doing what I knew it was good at, like the battle sequences and stuff like this. But I'll give some more reasons I was testing it. First of all, I wanted to see, could it understand things like weight? So I asked for the prompt of the sword to be dragged across the floor to see if it would, like, you know, make a groove in the floor essentially, or whether, like other models I tried this in previously, it would just kind of rest on the floor and not really, you know, understand that this thing weighs an incredible amount and that it should be carving up the floor. And now the second thing I noticed that Seedance did is added all these crazy sound effects, but a music track to all of my generations. So I had to stop it. I had to say only create the sound effects with no background music, because otherwise from scene to scene the music was changing a bit. So when you hear the music changing a bit in the scenes, that kind of explains why that happened, where it happened and stuff like that. Anyway, just some pre-context, and this is what I got.
You will wield the sword that will destroy the heavens.
Oh, shit.
That's so cool.
Just some craziness, right? But it was just some fun testing, honestly. Someone asks here, how do you get Seedance access in the US? So as far as I understand, it's not been rolled out properly yet, and it's been pushed back a little bit from when it was intended to. However, there are some APIs. There's one in a place called uart.ai and some smaller distributors. Again, you've got to just be very careful where you use it, and it's, you know, where you're registering your cards and stuff. So I don't want to give exact names because I think it's changing constantly and the rollout's been a little bit more difficult for them. But yeah, I believe uart.ai is one of the official places that you can use them, at least. But it's on a very limited rollout to people in the CPP of CapCut and ByteDance, essentially, which we're lucky to have, and MetaPuppet has, and a few others. But yeah, it's not globally available yet, which is why you're not seeing it everywhere, essentially. Because as far as I understand it, when it is available, the API will become available, and then wherever you use your tools, you know, FreePick, Higgsfield, Weavy, wherever, that should just become another thing that you can call upon, you know, like everything else. But yeah, just a fun little example test. I didn't want to dwell on that too long, honestly, because like I said, I didn't spend too much time on it. I was just looking for characters consistency and physics understanding and multiple people in one shot, like me and MetaPuppet and stuff like that. Here was another stupid little fun thing that I did. I wonder if Linus is still watching, because this one truly made me laugh, mate. I was doing a video to video test, as we talked about earlier, you know, using an image and a video. So this is a real video of real dancers, except I just basically added me and Linus and MetaPuppet and a few other people from our WhatsApp group. Check it out. Again, just a fun little test, you know, of the driving video capabilities of a real video of dancers and how it would displace us with characters. The one thing that felt a bit silly and actually made me lol the most was the fact that Linus and MetaPuppet's face would like swap, you know, mid like dance. It was kind of like every time their face like covered each other, then the face would swap or something like this, which was kind of hilarious. But yeah, it's just fun little, you know, tests, essentially, how the driving video works, whether or not it's good or not, and it is incredibly good.
Yeah, as Danny said, feels like Missy Elliott, that video. Yeah, definitely a Missy Elliott video.
Yeah. Right, I'll give you some options now for what you want next, right? We can rapid fire through some short videos and some spec ads. We can watch the Door Brothers piece, which we weren't able to last week. We watched the same one twice, but there was actually another video that they've released. It's not the big Logan Paul one that they've just done. 14 minutes, by the way. We haven't really talked about that yet. But that was the bit that he said, you know, big project is coming and can't really talk about who's involved. And it was a 14-minute Logan Paul video, which is insane. And we'll have to watch that next week on its own dedicated episode or something like that, right? But there was a video that I very much love from last week. That's your option one. So previous Door Brothers, or we can rapid fire through some more spec ads, or I've got a James Bond piece for you. Which one would you like?
Thing is, they're all three good ones. Everyone in the chat, put either 1 for the Door Brothers, 2 for like rapid fire, or 3 for James Bond. Let's just see. Let's just see what everyone in the chat says. So 1 for Door Brothers, 2 for rapid fire of loads of different ones, or 3 for James Bond. So we got a James Bond. We got Bond. We got Bond. Let's just play Bond.
Well, do you know why? It's because the guy Laszlo Gal, you know, the Porsche ad, the thing that we watched, the Spanish interview, he's the creator. Yeah. So our audience knows that it's insane. And when he sent this to me, he told me that it has been taken down from YouTube, sadly, which is kind of annoying. And we might have to cut it if you don't see this afterwards. Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. It was restricted from YouTube. Maybe it is pushing it to actually put it through live. And
I'll tell you what we do then. Let's play the last video. So we'll say our goodbyes and then we'll play it. And if we get kicked off, it's easy.
Yeah, if we get cut off. Yeah. True.
We'll play that one last, everyone. So let's go with number 2 because that was like rapid fire. That seems to be
all right. Rapid fire spec ads. Let's do it.
Yep.
So this one, I believe, we're gonna start adding more. We've built a system, actually. You'll be interested to hear this, mate, where after the live stream, we use AI and we take the transcript of this show and I can feed it my sources and it can create like YouTube descriptions with tags and timestamps of everything to basically get you guys the ability to know and go and discover all of this like after the show. So it would be 24 hours roughly after the streams happened is look at the YouTube description for this upload and you should start to see all of the like reference points and stuff populating in there, which is finally we have a system to do this now. It took a while to build, but it's actually working now. We tested it this morning. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this one is a Corona 100 years sunshine spec ad, and the full details and links will be added, like I said, 24 hours later. Let's watch it.
In 1925, under the Mexican sun, it began. A beer unlike any other, golden and refreshing. Through the 50s, the 70s, the 80s, and the new millennium. For 100 years, one taste has traveled the world. Always with a slice of lime, always the same spirit. Celebrated on the world's most beautiful beaches. A symbol of connection and escape, of sunsets shared, and moments that last. From every decade to today. One bottle, one legend, 100 years. Corona, a century of sunshine.
That was cool.
I really like that. Really like that. I'll give some really quick notes. I thought the voiceover could have been slightly better. I like the script of the voiceover, but not necessarily the voice itself. I was thinking also the zoom ins, you know, the really fast, like paced camera, like zooming around the world. I really like that as an effect.
Actually, that's the thing that stood out to me the most. Yeah.
I wonder if speed ramping or something was used in there to make it not look so AI, you know. That's a very good technique. And the last note I had on it was the outro felt different to the rest of it. Like the sort of modern music and the bottle and the zoom ins, it felt like a modern sort of like, you know, ad, whereas the previous bit kind of felt a bit more nostalgic and so it felt a bit confused in terms of the genres blending there. But otherwise, I thought it was a great 8 out of 10 effort there.
It was a really good spec ad. Like for me, it's a solid. I'll probably give it a 7, solid 7.
Let us know in the comments what you thought of that. Hopefully, we're going to start getting this feedback direct to the producers and having them on the show and stuff. You know, we're going to focus on marketing and advertising in future episodes, as well as the occasional music video and stuff that really excites us outside of that. But we are a marketing and advertising agency, you know, and that's essentially what we know. And we can really grade this stuff, you know, like if I saw that as a client submit a piece of work, I'd be like, wow, these have got some real skills in AI, you know, maybe the storytelling and like I said, the fusion of the ideas could have just smoothed out a little bit to make that a 9 out of 10 for me. But yeah, there's just a few things that have changed to make that really, really top stuff. Which is so good, you know, as a spec ad or a real ad or something. That's such a high bar with advertising. Anyway, let's keep going. This next one, I don't even know what it is. I'm assuming it's a spec ad because of its length, but it could be something else. Let's check it out.
No internet!
Again,
that must be a real ad.
That looked like a real ad, but made with AI.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, real ad, but made with AI.
Yep.
I actually thought that was really good until the last bit. Once he plugged it in, I was like, and then that last bit when she just smiled. I don't know. I think they could have done something else there. But I think that was a cool ad. Like, I like when she went out and her teeth fell out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Do you know what I'm thinking is when I see stuff like that, I think it wouldn't work as a TV ad maybe, but it'd be a great social media piece, you know? Like that's where you're like starting to think, well, if I prioritize my budget towards the long form TV stuff and the stuff that we'll be showing globally, then, you know, maybe we use just this on social media. You know, and it works really well as a social media piece because it's got a visual hook with the teeth flying and the camera swirl and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily like a TV ad but the teeth alone was fun, as Glenn says. That was a great shot. Like it could have been used anywhere, a music video, a short film, or a spec ad. Very clever camera technique, and it got you visually hooked straight away, doesn't it? That's the great thing about spec ads. It's like they're so short and they need something so punchy or a twist or something amazing to really make it stand out. Otherwise it's just generic product shots or something that's like high quality camera but no storytelling. So you're going down one of those grading criteria. Was it the best, incredible camera stuff around a product and it had no story, or was it an incredible story? Doesn't matter how good the visuals are, and how good was it at telling the brand story? That's the way I think about spec ads anyway.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this next one, I think it's actually maybe a demo of something that's coming up. Let's check it out.
No one goes to Hank's for...
Oh no, I'll tell a lie. I'm going to take that off. This is a real ad. Now this difference here is, I believe this one was made by a big agency, but using AI. So here's the difference maker: is we're now going to see all levels of AI ads. You know, the individual freelancer, the like team effort, then the big agency using AI on behalf of a brand and stuff like this. So it's going to be, judge it with that in mind. This was a big agency made this one.
No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheet. He doesn't sell them.
He does sell a darn good slice.
When business slowed, Hank decided to bring back the $1 slice.
He just asked Copilot in Excel to help make it work. Suddenly, Hank says, you gotta try this place kind of thing.
All right.
Hank makes the pizza.
Hey, how you doing?
Copilot handles the spreadsheets.
Enjoy.
So that's a real Copilot AI generated ad.
I like that.
And we're always going to have to premise it as a real, as in the brand wanted it and they paid for it and it's running as a real ad. So when we say real, guys, that's what we mean in the spec ad world. Is not that this is real content or whatever. It's not a spec ad. It's not speculative. The brand didn't endorse it. Yada yada. The brand did endorse it. They paid for it and it's running, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, but I quite like that. I was watching that and I was thinking, at first I was like, must be an ad for like a small business that put it up there. But obviously it's a small business, but using but Copilot to showcase that it's for all.
I thought Excel too, because of the spreadsheet type of thing. Yeah. Bit of a little confusion there. We both got a bit of a mixed message that, as a takeaway from that one.
Lara had a great comment. She goes, at the end, behind every big agency, a nerd human who did it all. Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now we're gonna this one is kind of a spec ad, but in a totally parody way, and that's why it made this week's show. It's the funniest video of the week, but it's also incredibly weird and dystopian in a really weird way. I hope you haven't seen this one, mate, because I want a real reaction for this one. If you have seen it, I wouldn't be surprised because it did go kind of viral. But Sander from Evolving AI sent me the raw copy of this one, so thanks. He actually got in touch with the creator and got the raw video, so let's check it out.
By 2030, almost 80% of people had lost their jobs.
They had no money, no purpose, but they had a lot of time on their hands.
The less people actually did physical work, the more they wanted to appear as if they did.
What if we could use the energy of humans to power the machines that took away their jobs?
Energem solved our need for energy
and your need for purpose.
That was great. That was great.
I loved how they were all fat and all of the people.
Yeah, that was
ones
the key
that
thing. That's one thing I think what made it funny. It was them, not so much the idea. Obviously, the idea was obviously it's basically Black Mirror. There's an episode on Black Mirror that's pretty much about that, like energize it, people using their energy, etc. But I thought that was genius. As a few people said, Glenn said it. Yeah, Lisa roll on the floor, original Mars roll on the floor. Vesica Studios. Yeah, that was a great one.
Let's go. By the way, I have got your video up for next week. I know you've been sending me a lot of videos and you were like, when am I going to make the show? This guy that's laughing in the emoji here. You are going to make the show next week. Congrats. So your persistence has paid off. And thanks for tuning in so frequently as well. You're an absolute legend, mate. Appreciate that. And yeah, I was rolling over laughing when I first saw that, mate. Like Lisa was as well. I literally was like, that looks like a legit Sam Altman got fat. Like that looks like Elon Musk. It sounds like him. And yeah, that's the scary part, you know. It really does sound and look like them, and they've got no control over that. That's completely out of their hands. It was made, it went viral, and you just got to deal with the backlash. It's gonna be interesting times for these guys. But the Dawes brothers started all this, didn't they? You know, the Dawes brothers really started this, like leaning on. And satire is important, and it should be protected, I believe, you know.
Exactly.
Yep. I'm glad you guys got I was keeping that one up my sleeve, honestly, the whole episode, thinking, oh, when do I show this one? Because I don't want to put off people that are new and whatever. It's whatever. All right, let's rapid fire through some more. What else have I got? Let's check out this one.
Raval, abrir teto solar.
O que vem, respira. Fico onde o tempo.
Okay, instant feedback from that one. Again, it's this mixed message. Like, as a content agency owner, I get two types of brief when I get a client like this. Tell a story and don't mention the product, except as a subtle sort of brand mention at the end, maybe as the twist or something like this. Or focus on every single feature, you know, the reverse parking, the bells and whistles, and it's like just talking about the product. It's very hard to combine the storytelling and the product telling of the two things. But then why are people hugging in an airport and stuff if it's the product? Because it was doing well as a product sort of demo of the it was okay for that. But then the storytelling element didn't really make anything extra to it. And that's my initial feedback from that one for sure.
Do you know what? I actually thought it's pretty much the same thing. I was thinking to myself, you know what? Car adverts are quite hard to do to make that emotional connection. And as soon as it started, the guy was looking at something and like putting the petrol or the charging the car. I was like, where's this gonna go? And then I thought, it's quite hard to do a car advert without showing off how stylish it is, or it's going to get you from A to B, and then they kind of force a story. Yeah, I think that one, it shows some good benefits on the car, you know, like open the sunroof and things like that. But yeah, was this a real ad? As in, like, it was
that one I'll have to check on whether it seemed like the brand paid for that. Yeah, because it was a sort of a lesser car brand. It was a sort of a Chinese sort of ad, wasn't it? So I'm guessing so. Yeah, it was like. Now the thing is if a brand did want to do that through a CGI method or whatever, that is going to be incredibly expensive. And if again it's not for film and TV and it's just for social media, it kind of can work there as the medium for distribution. I can see it having a place. It would not go viral though, because it's about product demos. You know, it's like it's not anything showy or visually hooking, but it did a justice to the sort of car ad that you'd see like that, you know, in a weird way. Like you've definitely seen ads like that with cars.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not memorable. They're not. Yeah,
I've seen that ad before. You know.
Yeah,
I've seen that ad before.
A bit confusing and a bit generic, as people are saying. But again, if you're watching this and you made this, don't feel too harsh by that. I think you did pull off some of the stuff pretty well. You know, like it's definitely had some pros to it. But yeah, it, like I said, go one way or the other. Go visual or products or.
I think it goes back to what we've said many times: is whoever created it can use the tools. They know how to edit. They know how to do that. It was just the story that I felt lacked, and that is not necessarily an AI thing. So yeah,
exactly. Right, we're probably not going to even get to close out the show on the James Bond piece actually, because it is over 5 minutes. So we'll save that to the closer of next week's show. Probably we're going to rapid fire through the other videos that I've got, because they're all basically 1 to 2 minutes, and then just close out the show on there. The first one I want to show is you remember how I showed last week all of the editing to the music on the beat and stuff like that? Well, Seedance, mate, with this, like we saw it in Meta Puppet's video with his action scenes of his angels and the cars flipping and stuff. I'm starting to see more of the just short form, not completed music videos yet, but edited to the music. Check this one out. This one stood out as particularly fire.
Talking I be hood, hey, rest in peace, hey, Reaper, that's my name, hey, chaos the chosen, 6 feet, that's an inch, hey, last breath, that's my shh. I'ma never see, never be at hold up, never be at yeah, man, talking I be hood, hey, rest in peace, hey, Reaper, that's my name, hey, chaos the chosen. 6 feet, that's an inch. Hey, last breath, that's my shh.
Cool stuff, huh?
Yeah, that was cool. Was it played twice? It was like...
No, I think it was slightly different because it was 2 Suno songs, like slightly different, like beats underneath or something, but different editing as well, slightly. But again, but marginal, you know, like but yeah, it's just the ability to create a Suno beat that's actually way better than anything you'd have got out of a stock library if you couldn't make music before. Then you just start making visuals that edited to the pace of that fire beat, and suddenly you're starting to see things without much storytelling, just visually and audially impressive, you know, like, and that can be enough. And then if you add story to it as well, like Meta Puppet, and then take a backstory as well, and all of that, then you've got the full package, basically.
But as that guy D said, Chris, you're a better swordsman. You could take a
Oh, Eric, you make me laugh, man.
Ah, the Eric, yeah.
It's because everyone's in YouTube handles, aren't they? LinkedIn this week.
I can't log into YouTube for some reason. Like I don't know why. I can't log into it from this.
I tried. There is a stream, hopefully, going through the LinkedIn Creative Vibes, but I noticed everyone's come through my personal page into YouTube. So we got to figure something out for like.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we weren't on LinkedIn today, were we? I don't think.
Yeah, we are on LinkedIn via Creative Eyes now, but I just haven't been able to invite people to the page.
I couldn't get onto LinkedIn. Every time I went to that page, it just said invite rather than log in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check actually if we're live through Creative Eyes now. I didn't even check, to be honest with you.
I'll send you this.
But yeah, I was just trying a few different things, basically, like to see how we can get people to the invites more regularly to find us and stuff like that. Because we've got our core crew, but then I have to invite people each week. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if they can jump over to YouTube, subscribe there, then get future notifications, stuff like that,
Yeah. Cool. Wow, look at the time already.
Check. I know, it's already gone past, isn't it? Which is just mental, mate. It's flown by because we had such a great episode with Meta Puppet for the first hour. So thankful for him to just join us. I think that's probably his first actual talking about it since he put it out, it's so good that he trusts us with it, and had us in mind to even exclusively launch it through this show. It was the original plan, and I said, bro, don't hold it back for us, for God's sake. And now I've seen it live, I'm like, God, thank God he didn't hold it back for us, because we're not getting enough people seeing this, and it should be everywhere as it deserves to be. But I don't know what's going on, whether we're live through Resurrecting or whether we're not. If anyone could let me know in the comments if you can see us live through LinkedIn. If not, then it must have just been a misbridge or couldn't log on through LinkedIn. People are saying, so maybe it wasn't a right bridge that I made there or something. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, you guys all tuned in through YouTube, and I love you guys for it. We will probably post this on LinkedIn because it was such a great episode, maybe in clips or maybe in full. We're going to be doing a lot more around that on YouTube Shorts as well as clipping up parts of this show. As I said earlier, don't be offended when we don't feature your comments as much, because during the parts of the show I think we're likely most clippable. Paul said please don't muddy up with comments, it makes it harder to clip and stuff like that. So we see you, we hear you, but we don't want to just make the content worse for the clippable versions. And Danny, you're a legend, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time as always. As well as our time. Tuning in where you are around the world, all these crazy time zones. Getting confirmation there was no LinkedIn link. So I must have stuffed something up there today.
Cool.
But cheers, guys.
Well, thank you very much for listening. As always, it was a pleasure, and looking forward to next week, where 7 days in the world of AI, there'll be huge changes, no doubt.
Man, the changes from this week were bamboozling, weren't they? I was waiting actually as my closer for someone to take Seedance to a new level. And then Meta Puppet comes out with that action sequence at the end, and I'm like, damn, dude. Because to date, what we've seen is loads of crazy clips with fighting, but with no story or ripping off IP or something like this, which is just not making it really truly watchable. And everyone's seeing it in their feed anyway in this show. We want to tell off this good stories, and we want to be the anti-AI slop guys. We want to be the exact opposite of that. So that's why I hadn't today brought in all the Elon Musk fight and the Iron Mans and whatever. And then Meta Puppet just at the perfect time drops the perfect video to make it showcaseable. And yes, mate.
Brilliant.
Right.
All right, then, guys.
Next week.
Until next week. Take care.
Cheers.